Well, hey everyone out there. Thanks for choosing our short explanation of the game Azul. It's Chris here from JMNC Games, and today we are taking a trip to Portugal, where you are a tile laying master. You've been hired by the king to decorate the walls of the royal palace of Evora. Before we get into it, if you could please take a moment to like and subscribe to our channel, we greatly appreciate that. This game is from Next Move. It's for 2 to 4 players, ages 8 and up. The average game time is about 30 to 40 minutes, with the objective of the game to score the most points while creating the most beautiful patterns, finding the tiles from the factory. Now, let's take a look at what's inside the box.
There is 100 tiles of various colors and patterns, 4 player boards, 9 factory discs, 4 scoring markers, 1 starting player marker, and 1 bag. To set up, each player should collect a player board and scoring marker. The player board has 2 sides. All players should play with the same side. If this is your first game, you should use this side, and once you are used to the play, you can try the other side. Place the scoring marker on the 0. Take the factory discs and place them in the center of the playing area in a circle like this. The number of discs laid out will depend on how many people are playing the game. For a 2-player game, there is only 5 discs. For a 3-player game, 7 discs. And for a 4-player game, 9 discs. Fill the bag with the 100 tiles. The player who has most recently visited Portugal should go first. Otherwise, pick someone to go first, and play will go clockwise around the table. The player selected to go first will now reach into the bag and pull out 4 random tiles. Place those tiles on one of the factory discs. Keep repeating this process until all of the factory discs have 4 tiles on them. Place the start player marker in the center of the factory discs, and now we're ready to begin. On your turn, you must first select tiles from the factory. You can do this one of 2 ways. The first way is to choose tiles from one of the factory discs. If you wish to select the tiles from here, you must take all of the tiles of the same color or pattern from that disc and no others. The tiles that are not selected from that disc are now moved to the center of the table. The other way to select tiles is to choose the tiles that have been discarded to the center of the table. If you wish to take tiles from here, you must take all of the same color and pattern. The tiles not selected remain in the center of the table. If you are the first player to select tiles from the center, you will also have to collect the first player marker. Take this tile and place it at the bottom left of your board. You will go first in the next round, however, you will lose a point in the scoring at the end of the current round. After you have selected your tiles, you now need to place them onto your board into one of these rows on the left side. You can choose any of the rows to place the tiles, but the row you place must be all of the same color and are laid out from right to left. In case you don't fill up a whole row, that is okay. Perhaps you'll do that on another turn. If this is the case, you'll only be able to place tiles into this row that match the color pattern that is already there. Now let's say, for example, you want to fill this row here of 3 slots with the blue tiles. You see in the factory center that there are 4 blue tiles available on your turn. If you wanted to select those blue tiles, you would have to take all 4. You can place the 3 tiles into the row, but the extra tile falls to the factory floor. You would place it here along the bottom of your board. When it's time for the scoring phase, you will receive the minus points listed for the space occupied of the fallen tiles. If you fill all of the spaces on the floor of your board, any additional tiles that fall would be returned to the lid of the box. Players continue following the steps of selecting tiles and placing them on their board until all of the tiles from both the factory discs and the center of the table have been selected. Once this happens, we now move into the next section of the game, which is placing your tiles into the wall pattern. Players now look at their rows. Any row that is completed, meaning every space has been filled, you can now take one of those tiles and slide it into the matching space on the player's wall. Take any remaining tiles from that row and place them into the lid of the box. Any rows that are incomplete, those tiles remain there going into the next round. While you are placing tiles onto the wall, you will need to pay attention to the scoring. Each tile that you move over to your wall will score in the following ways. If the tile placed has no adjacent tiles, horizontally or vertically, then you score 1 point and you move one space along the scoring track. If when you are placing a new tile, there are any tiles horizontally attached, then you will score 1 point per tile, including the tile that was just placed. So in this example, I have placed the orange tile next to the red and black. I would score 3 points for this tile and thus move 3 points on the scoring track. The same is true for tiles placed where there are other tiles connected vertically. 1 point per tile in the column, including the tile that has just been placed. If you're doing really well, you may even have a tile that connects both horizontally and vertically. So, for example, we have this pattern here, and I'm able to place the orange tile here. I would be able to score 4 points for the horizontal line and 3 points for the vertical line. When all of your tiles have been placed onto the wall and scored, next tally all of the tiles that fell into the floor and move your scoring marker back the number of points lost. If you go all the way back to 0, that is as far as you can go. Once you have tallied the tiles on the floor, you can remove them and place them back into the lid of the box. Now it's time to prepare for the next round. The player who has the starting marker should place the starting marker back into the center of the table. Take the bag and reset the factory discs the same as in the beginning, 4 random tiles per disc. If the bag runs out of tiles during the game, reload the bag with the tiles from the lid of the box. Once the factory discs are reloaded, play resumes in the same manner. Select tiles, place in the rows, and then once all tiles are selected, move to the wall, score, and repeat. The game continues this way until the first player completes a horizontal line on their wall. Once you complete the normal scoring for the end of that round, there is an additional end-of-game scoring. Each player will score 2 points per horizontal line that they were able to complete on their wall. Each player will score 7 points per vertical line that they were able to complete on their wall. If a player was able to place 5 tiles of the same color on their wall, they will score 10 points per color that they were able to do. After all of the players have completed their scoring, the person with the highest score is the winner of the game. If there was a tie, the player with the most complete horizontal lines is the winner. If you ever decide to play the opposite side of the board, it works the same, only this time you can place your piece wherever you wish to on the wall. However, On a horizontal line, no two tiles can be repeated, nor can the same be done for any vertical lines.
And so that's Azul. Thanks for joining us today. We sure hope you enjoyed our video, and if you did, if you could take a moment to like and subscribe to our channel, click on the bell there. You'll get yourself notifications and know when we put out new ones. If you got any questions about Azul, please feel free to drop them down in the comments below, and I'll be sure to answer them as quick as I can. But now, you know the basics, so let's play.